So have you ever told yourself, man, I wish I would have gotten to that neighborhood before it exploded and prices took off? Well, I have a neighborhood that I think is poised to do just that. That is the neighborhood of Chosewood Park. This is an in-town Atlanta neighborhood just southeast of the downtown area. I'm going to tell you all about all of the developments that are going on here, and there's a lot of them. Plus, I'll show you around the neighborhood and what is here currently. And make sure you stay till the end to see if I go and try the infamous prison taco. So more on that to come. Let's get started. Hey guys, my name is Molly and welcome to my channel. If you want to follow along about all things here in the Atlanta area, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're thinking about making a move to the Atlanta area and you need further help with your home search, reach out to me, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. Would love to hear from you and see if I can help you out to find a neighborhood that matches your lifestyle and your budget. Okay, you guys, enough of that. It is a beautiful February day here. The sun is shining. It's like 60 degrees out. And keep in mind, as I'm walking around this neighborhood, it is still winter time, so the trees are bare. It looks a little dead around here. So just keep in mind that, you know, in the summer, in the springtime, it's going to be a lot more pretty around here. But I don't know if you can hear the trucks behind me, but there are a lot of excavators going on because there's like 3 different developments happening all right here. We've got an apartment complex right behind me. There is another development with apartments, townhomes, single family homes, and then a huge townhome complex right next to that. It's all kind of back up here. I'm in the Chosewood Park. So all of that is right in the back of this park area. So I'll talk a lot more about that. But first, let's talk about where Chosewood Park is actually located at. So you can see that Chosewood Park is just a little southeast of the downtown area. It is right south of the popular Grant Park neighborhood. Getting around town, so getting to the airport, that's about a 15-minute drive. Downtown is 12 minutes, Midtown 15 minutes, and Buckhead is 20 minutes. So really not bad, but keep in mind these are commute times when there's really not peak traffic. So add a little extra on if you are traveling during some of those peak rush hour times. So I thought I'd start out my neighborhood tour by being in the park of Chosewood Park. It's called Chosewood Park, and you can see a nice big green space. There is baseball fields, there's a couple of basketball courts, there's some playground equipment, there is a tennis court. I will say it looks a little sad right now, but I know there is a community association that is working really hard to raise money, and they've raised a lot of money actually to get some improvements done in this park, including new playground equipment. They've already changed out some of the park benches. They painted a mural over by the tennis court. So the community is really involved and active, and this is a very small neighborhood. So if you're wanting a kind of a tight-knit community, this might be for you. Now, this neighborhood has always been a little bit on the cheaper, more affordable side. You know, I think one reason that the prices have stayed low in this neighborhood is because it is right next to a federal state penitentiary. So, you know, I don't think anyone plans on buying a home next to a prison. That's usually not anyone's first goal that they have, but I will say it's kind of right on the edge, and you wouldn't really know it if you are in the heart of this neighborhood. And I would say, you know, that prison, even though it is still a prison, it's kind of a pretty building of sorts. It looks like a historical building. So yeah, so that is not like the greatest thing to live by, but you get used to it. I mean, there's just limited space here in Atlanta, and you got to park somewhere. And this used to just be a very affordable option for people. You could get homes here, you know, under that 300K range, and now the prices have started to steadily climb up. The average sales price for a single family home in this neighborhood right now is around $380,000. But I would say, you know, if you're wanting a little bit more of a renovated bungalow style home, I would say plan for around the mid 400s or even up in the 500K price point. I'm going to go show you a few home examples so you can kind of get an idea of what you'll find in this neighborhood. But, you know, bungalow style homes is probably the main thing in this neighborhood. There's some newer construction craftsman homes as well. And then we're getting into townhomes. That's all of the new development that is popping up here. You're going to see a lot more new townhomes being built. And there is one condo building that is in this neighborhood. Townhomes right now average is $455,000, and the one condo building that is in this neighborhood is on average $252,000. So Walking up a hill, I am breathing a little heavy, so bear with me. While I would say there is not a lot to do in this neighborhood yet, now I will talk a little bit more about that. It is really close to the exciting Grant Park neighborhood, so you can pop over there to grab something to eat. But Chosewood Park is a Beltline neighborhood, and so that is kind of why all of this development that is starting to roll in is happening. That's one reason. And two, developers are just looking for a place to build homes. Atlanta needs more homes, and there's a lot of space, open, kind of barren space in the south part of Atlanta. So it's kind of a no-brainer to start going south and looking at areas where you can build these big areas of homes. So that's exactly what developers are doing, and especially right there on the Beltline. Now the Beltline, like I said, it runs along the northern end of this neighborhood. It's not done yet. It is an unpaved trail. They're starting to work on this southern section, basically from Boulevard up into the Englewood Park area. They're actually working on that section right now, which should be done by the beginning of 2025. And then they'll continue on to this next section, which will be along Chosewood Park. So I wouldn't expect this trail to be by Chosewood Park finished probably until 2026. I don't really know, but I would definitely say it's going to be a couple of years before that section is done. Now, before I get too far into the weeds of telling you all of the developments that are happening, let me show you around some of the main streets here in the Chosewood Park neighborhood, show you some home examples of currently what is here. And yeah, like I said, if you're going to watch this video in a year or two after I post it, I bet this area is going to look completely different just with all of the different developments that are coming in. So let's go check out what you can find here right now. There's some cute bungalows, so let's go. Now remember, Chosewood Park is a very small neighborhood, so there's not a lot of sales that are happening here at any one time. In the last year, I looked up and there was only 5 sales for single family homes. So if you're looking for a single family home option, there's just not going to be a ton that pops up at any one time. And you're going to find a mixture of cute renovated bungalows, some that need some love, and I would say the ones that are like complete fixer-uppers, those are selling in the 180 to 200K price point. And and then there's a couple of sprinkled in here and there, some new construction, and those will be in the higher 6s, even the 700K range. I'm going to show you here an example of a bungalow and then also a new build, so you can kind of see the difference there. But check out this street. I mean, it's a nice, quaint little street. And like I said, when you're kind of in the heart of this neighborhood, it just feels like a neighborhood. It's really kind of on the outskirts of this neighborhood where it gets a little grungy. There's a lot of barren land, but that soon is all about to change. So like I said, there's a lot of bungalows in this neighborhood, and right behind me, here's an example of one that sold recently. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, just over 1,200 square feet. It sold for $420,000. It has an open kitchen, living room layout, kind of your typical bungalow style layout. It does only have 1 bathroom, but you could probably add one on if you do a little expansion on the back of the house. So there you go. There's an example of a bungalow here in the Chosewood Park neighborhood. Okay, so I want to give you an example of what you can find here for a new build, and it's right behind me here. This was a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, just under 3,000 square feet. This sold for $739,000. It was just built in 2023. It has an open kitchen layout. It has hardwoods throughout the house. It has a big primary bedroom with a huge closet and bathroom. So really nice space here. It also has a garage, so that is kind of a rare thing here in this neighborhood. But there you go. That's what you can get for a new build in this neighborhood. Okay, remember how I said that on the outskirts of this neighborhood it becomes a little barren, a little grungy? Well, that's what I am approaching But you're going to see signs of how things are going to be changing. In fact, right behind me is a townhome complex that's going to be built. I think it's about 31 units in total, and it's right here on the south edge of the Chosewood Park area. But here's the thing, like right across the street is a major development that's going in. It's replacing a General Motors plant. Now, I've talked about this development a couple of different times in some of my up and coming neighborhood videos, so you can check out more information there. But I'm going to tell you more about it here, and it has definitely changed since the last time I came to visit it. They have now torn down all of the old buildings that were here. It was really an eyesore. I mean, it still looks kind of like an eyesore, but if you can envision it, there's going to be a huge development coming. It's called the Sawtell. It's right on the edge of the Chosewood Park neighborhood. Kind of on the opposite side of the railroad tracks is Lakewood Heights. That's another neighborhood that I think is kind of an up and coming, has a lot of potential. So let me tell you about the Sawtell here. Let me skip across the road and tell you more about it. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I've mentioned this Sawtell development primarily in my up and coming neighborhood videos, but this Sawtell development is going to be a huge game changer for kind of the south area of Atlanta, because there's really not been any big commercial developments that have happened here. And so these areas are screaming for something to not only improve the neighborhood, but just gives people something to go to. So this is a 40-acre plot of land, and there used to be a General Motors factory plant here, very old, dilapidated, abandoned. It wasn't in use or anything. They finally torn down all of the buildings, so there's just kind of rubble there left over. It's been a very slow progression. I don't really know when they're going to start actually developing this piece of land. But when it starts happening, this is going to be a mixed-use commercial space with they're going to bring in like I read 2,000 different units of a living space, so apartments, some condos, townhomes, etc. It's also going to have some retail space, some restaurants. They're going to be putting in like a wellness area, a green space, even like a doggy daycare kind of thing, or doggy pampering area. So very exciting for this area. I think it's really going to help out home values around here, and it's really honestly just down the street. This is on McDonough Boulevard. Down the street is where you're going to find the state penitentiary. So I'm going to be very excited to watch the progression of this development, and I mean even down the street further, which I will get to here in a little bit. There's another townhome development going in. I'll tell you about that here in a little bit. One thing to keep in mind about the Chosewood Park neighborhood, just like a lot of in-town neighborhoods, you're most likely going to just get a driveway. You're not going to get a garage. That's kind of a luxury item in a lot of these in-town neighborhoods. But I will say it's a very quiet neighborhood. I mean, I do hear an occasional train horn, if you will. I mean, the train tracks are just nearby, but otherwise it's a very quiet neighborhood. Now, in case you didn't believe me that this neighborhood is close to the center of the city, I mean, look right behind me. You can see the skyline of the downtown midtown area. So yes, this is located very close to the city. Now, that's a quick overview of the heart of this neighborhood. Now I'm going to head on the perimeter of this neighborhood, because that's where all of the exciting development is happening. So I'm going to walk to each one of these and tell you more about them. So right up the street on McDonough Road, right across from the Sawtell development, is this development that's happening right behind me. This is being developed by the Toll Brothers. They're a very popular builder here in the Atlanta area, and they're developing this plot of land to be a combination of condos ranging from 200 to 400,000, and also some townhomes in the upper 600K price point. I got some dogs barking at me here in the background, and you can see behind me, you know, you're going to have more bungalows right here. And then just kind of catty corner from this development is the state penitentiary. There's a gas station on the corner, so that's what you can expect here. It'll be, you know, right across the street from the Sawtell development, which will have restaurants and all that kind of stuff. So this will be a great spot once it's all developed. It's kind of hard to imagine it right now, but eventually it's going to be great. But speaking of townhome communities, I'm gonna keep just walking right up this road and we're gonna hit another one. And this one is a huge development. It is called Zephyr. It is being built by Empire Community. So let me just walk up a few blocks and I'll talk about that one next. Okay, I've certainly mentioned this complex before, but this is called Zephyr. It's built by Empire Communities. And here you're gonna find a massive amount of townhomes. This is spread over 34 acres, so it's huge, you guys. Okay, so you can find 2-bedroom up to 4-bedroom townhomes ranging from, I'd say, the mid 400s up to the mid 500s. Actually, I don't even know if you can get any more in the 400s. That's kind of becoming extinct here, but you can certainly find some in the 500K range. They're building the pool as we speak, so there's gonna be like a pool clubhouse area. And if you go down this main street right behind me, you're going to hit the Boulevard Crossing Park. So you can go over there, kick a ball around, or take your dog. And I've heard that they're going to be creating a sidewalk that will connect this neighborhood directly over into the Beltline, which the Beltline is just across all of the trees over here. So that will be really cool for this community as well. Now, one thing that is great about this community is that if you want to rent out your townhome here, there are no rental restrictions. So this is one place that if you're looking to invest and rent out a unit, you can certainly do that. In fact, I was talking to one of the builders here because I had a client that bought a home here, and he said that they're building a portion for an investor, and they're just building a complete section that that investor is going to be renting out. So one other exciting thing about this neighborhood is I read, now this is not a for sure thing, but on the very southern side of this neighborhood, they might be putting in a Publix grocery store. It's kind of rumors right now. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that would be huge for this area and surrounding neighborhoods. The closest grocery stores right now, there's going to be the Publix over in the Summerhill neighborhood, and then there's also the Kroger over in the Englewood Park neighborhood. So those would be your closest grocery options, which those are relatively new within the past. Well, the Publix was just a year old, and then the Kroger probably 4 to 5 years old. But before that, this area was definitely more of a food desert. All right, I'm on the northern end of the Zephyr community, and right next door along Englewood Avenue is this other big, huge development. Remember when I opened up my video and I said you could hear a lot of excavators going? Well, this is what's going on. This is a massive community called Englewood. It's supposed to be over 900 units, and you guys, I'm from a small town in Kansas where the population was like 1,100 at the most. So my whole hometown could fit in this neighborhood. So it's going to be massive. You know, this used to be public housing that got raised several years ago, and now it's going to be transformed into just like a huge area where there'll be even senior apartment living. There's going to be apartments. There's going to be some townhomes for sale, some single family homes. They're going to have like a community clubhouse. They'll have some meeting rooms, office space. There'll be a pool, a gym, that kind of thing. They're even creating a water feature, which will be a nice like green area to walk around. I read that there might be even a grocery component in this community, so a little mini grocery store would be pretty cool. I read it's supposed to be completed in 2026. So this is definitely going to change what Chosewood Park is like. And again, all of this is going to be just across the street from the Beltline. You can't see it from here, but you just got to go over the fields here, and then bam, you'll be right on the Beltline. Now I'm going to head up the street just a little bit and tell you about another development that you can see happening right across the street. Okay, I'm going to try and talk loud over all of these trucks and the construction noise, but this is a new apartment complex that is being built. It's called Upton. It's going to have just under 400 units, and it should be ready in the summer of 2024. That is what they're advertising anyway, but it's going to have rooftop amenities, and I bet the views from the rooftop are going to be pretty awesome because this is up on the hill anyways, and you're going to see that beautiful downtown skyline from here. And right behind it is going to be the Atlanta Beltline. So Like you can see, a lot of housing coming into the Chosewood Park area. I mean, I'm gonna have to make another video about this neighborhood in another year or two because it's totally going to look different. Now I just headed a little further down Englewood Street, took a right and on Hill Street, and then I hit this new townhome complex called Skylar. So this is a collection of 128 townhomes. They are still building them, especially like up the hill. There's still more for sale. So if you're interested in them, reach out to me, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. I can talk to you more about some of these developments. But these are 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom townhomes, around 2,400 square feet. You know, I'd say open layout format. You know, the finishes they're nothing like over the top. They're nice, but they're not like luxury finishes or anything, but they're really nice units. And one great thing about this townhome complex, like Zephyr, there's no rental restrictions. So if you're looking for a rental property, this could be a great option. Another thing that I love about where this townhome community is located, it's literally just down a couple blocks to the Beacon, which is a popular commercial spot here in the Grant Park area that has some restaurants, mainly restaurants that you can go and hang out at. Now, the one downside is, let me turn around here, you've got kind of this warehousey scrap metal. I think it's owned by the city of Atlanta, kind of like some machinery, just odds and ends. So it's not the prettiest thing to see, but let me walk down just 2 blocks from here so you can see what is exactly right on the other side, which is that Beacon, and the Beltline literally is the bridge that I'll be walking under. So very close to the Beltline. So this is a quick look at the Beacon. This is one of the newest commercial spots here in the Grant Park area. So a place to grab a coffee. There's a couple breweries and some casual bites to eat. So a good little hangout spot. And yeah, if you wanted to get onto the Beltline, you'd have to cut through the Pratt Stacks. It's just a condo complex, and there is an actual entrance onto the Beltline. Now, if you want to see more about the Beacon or the Beltline, you could go check out my Grant Park vlog tour, and also go check out my West Side Beltline tour. I literally start my bike ride on the Beltline right here off of this entrance in the Beacon area. So go check that out. Let me backtrack to my car. I've got a couple more things to show you. Okay, I stand corrected. It's so funny, I've never noticed this before, but literally before you go under this bridge and get over to the Beacon, there are stairs right here to get onto the Atlanta Beltline. I never had noticed those before. They kind of blend in, so you know, give me a little grace, okay? But you know, you can hop on there. Like I said, you can go into Grant Park, or if you go this way, you're gonna hit Peoplestown. And Peoplestown, they're creating a food hall over there called Terminal South. So that could be another option of something that you can walk to. And hey, one other thing I'll point out, which is right next to me here, if you ever have unused paint or old paint that you're trying to dispose of and you don't know where to take it, or maybe have some tires or old glass or something, and you're looking for a place to drop that off at and recycle it, come right here. It's right off of Hill Street, and it is called the Center for Hard to Recycle Materials, also known as CHARM. You can drop off all of that kind of stuff here. I take paint here all the time because what do you do with old paint? So you can bring it here. So CHARM, look it up on Google, but there you go. You got your tip for the day. Remember how I told you there's one condo complex in the Chosewood Park area? Well, this is it right behind me. This is called Hill Street Lofts. These are 1 and 2 bedroom lofts. They're really good sizes, anywhere from 900 to 1,300 square feet. 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom lofts. ranging from $250,000 to $275,000 approximately. And the HOA is probably anywhere in that $250,000 to, I saw one for like $430 a month. So it just kind of depends on the size of the unit. But there's some really good units in here that I've seen have been remodeled, and you kind of get this overlooking skyline view of the downtown area. It was really hard to get any shots of this building because it's fully gated. So there's no covered parking, but plenty of outdoor parking. There is some great amenities. There's a gym, there's a pool, there's even a little dog park area. So you know, this is a little hidden gem, but I will say this feels a little separated from the rest of the Chosewood Park area because there's no access point from this neighborhood over into the main Chosewood Park area. You kind of have to go around on Milton Avenue and do a big loop. So not the most convenient if you're trying to be like in the center of the Chosewood Park area, but it's a very quiet location. Now, I had said there's not a lot of eating and drinking establishments in Chosewood Park, but right across the street from that Zephyr community off of Boulevard, there is one spot I should tell you about. It's called Red's Beer Garden. It is right here, so you can get a drink, and they have some kind of like beer food like fries, sandwiches, that kind of thing. And again, another development happening right next door. There used to be an old car wash that was like a dilapidated car wash station here. That has been torn down, and there's going to be a little community of townhomes right here off of Boulevard. I believe they're going to be in that $600K price range. All right, I know you've been waiting in suspense to see if I'm going to get prison tacos. And if you don't know what prison tacos are, there is this kind of hole-in-the-wall shop here. It's got like a little convenience store in it, but there is a little Mexican restaurant inside of it that apparently serves some good cheap tacos, and it's conveniently called Prison Tacos because it is right across the street from the state penitentiary. So I'm gonna go check it out. Okay, who thought I was gonna actually get prison tacos? Well, I did, and it was really good. Now, I just got a chicken taco with taxes, $3.14, so super cheap. It was actually pretty good. So if you're wanting to try a hole-in-the-wall place for some tacos, go check out the Prison Tacos right across the street from the federal prison. But okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Chosewood Park neighborhood. Like I said, a lot of changes happening in this neighborhood. If you want to get in early, now would be a good time. Reach out to me, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. Let me see if I can help you out. And if Chosewood Park is not for you, just reach out to me anyway. We can talk about other neighborhoods that might be a good fit for you. But that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me on this beautiful day. Until next time, you guys, I'll see you around the neighborhood.